This episode of Brats in the Back Row heavily discusses the topics of racism, black trauma, gun violence, and other facets of systemic oppression. Viewer and listener discretion is advised. Resources for coping with racial trauma and gun violence will be found in the description. Thank you.
Okay. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to our podcast where we are the titular brats talking in the back row of the movie theater. My name is Sarah.
My name is Emily.
I'm Allie.
And I'm Melina.
So this is the podcast where we force the other brats to watch a film of our choosing. And in this very special episode, I forced the other brats to watch one of my favorite films, BOYZ N THE HOOD. Yay! This is not a happy film.
It's not a happy movie.
No.
It's quite
I
sad, actually.
I want everyone to know that Sarah
Black-
texted the group chat and she was like, "Is it okay if I bring the vibe down with my pick?"
We've been
Well, 'cause we've
here.
been watching
Let's
the
go
Muppets.
here.
Yeah.
I was like, should we watch like the Muppets? It's like a spectrum. Like we went all the way to the Muppets, and then now we're like BOYZ N THE HOOD territory.
We're here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
What
Allie
was
was
it? 'Cause
like,
because we just
we did make
finished
us watch After
filming-
Sun.
That's true.
You're
But it was like we had just finished filming like Scooby-Doo, and then we were doing Fast Furious. Those are fun movies. And then Sarah was like, "Okay, so what if I ruin the mood actually?
What if I make everyone sad?
What if I made everything worse actually?"
Worse, not worse.
No,
No, not worse. Okay, worse, yes.
Yeah. So the film we're reviewing today is BOYZ N THE HOOD, which is a film that came out in 1991 and was directed by John Singleton. R.A.P. King. He actually just passed away at the age of 50 in 2021.
Dead?
Ah!
We're starting very morbid.
Oh my god! We're
he's
like
dead.
we're like a minute in.
God.
And he is dead.
R.I.P. John.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry,
R.A.P.
King.
King. I was very sad when I found out that he just passed away, but I felt like I had to mention that
Well, of course.
because I don't want people to search it up and be like, "Oh, he's not here anymore."
Wait, how did he die?
He had cancer, I
Oh
think.
my
Wait,
god!
let me look it up.
Poor King. I'm
Oh
so
wait, no, okay. He suffered a stroke and was placed under intensive care in 2019.
He was
Oh.
only like
blah, blah, blah.
50. That's
On
Yeah.
April 25th, it was reported that he was in a this is from his Wikipedia. It was
Uh-huh.
reported that he was in a coma, but his daughter stated otherwise. On April 28th, Singleton was removed from life support and he died at the age of 51
Oh,
at Cedar Sinai.
damn. I'm sorry, King.
Oh.
Poor one.
This was in 2019.
Oh.
Oh.
Damn. Yeah. He was in Costa
Sorry,
Rica when he had the
but I
first
was-
stroke.
Are you okay?
That's-
What? Are you okay, Sarah? Sarah,
I
are you
looked
okay?
him up, and the first thing I popped up was the Dolan twins.
What? Not the Dolan twins.
Why are they here?
What?
Are they associated with him in any way?
Oh.
Anyways,
I thought you were crying about him dying. I was like, it's
Yeah.
okay. I mean, he's in a better
right.
place now. It's been a couple years.
He's left a great legacy.
He has he's
Quite a
not
bit.
suffering anymore. It's okay.
R.I.P. to King, honestly. Like,
R.I.P.
and the
to
fact
King.
that he directed, Em actually brought this up, but he directed Too Fast, Too Furious? Or did,
Yes.
He did.
I was
That's
looking up his
crazy.
filmography, and then I was like, what do you mean he directed Too Fast, Too Furious?
that's
Yeah.
crazy.
I do love
Shout out
that
to lots
of like all of the films that he's directed, he was also the executive soundtrack producer.
Oh,
I think that's absolutely
Real.
beautiful.
real.
Real.
This
That's
is the
real
thing.
shit.
M said one time that they were making playlists for films that you wanted to make, but you don't actually make the.
I don't write the movies. I have been, but I don't write them. I make playlists for the movies. The ideas in my brain. I have playlists.
Playlists are
get
the
it.
easiest things to make.
They are.
I feel like if I were to be a director, I would want complete creative control over the music that they use in the
That's
film
real.
as well.
Okay.
I understand.
I mean, you get that.
Mhm.
You can get
And
that control.
you can get
Yeah.
that.
Okay, so this film, okay, so John Singleton actually wrote and directed Boys in the Hood. He actually, he was the youngest, so he directed the film when he was only 23 years old,
Jesus
which as a
Christ.
23-year-old.
Like, what are we doing, you guys? Like, why
Exactly.
are we here? Like, we need to go out there.
Why are we filming a fucking podcast?
We should be making things.
Aren't we filming a movie, guys?
We should. I have some playlist ideas, if anybody wants.
Please, yeah, send them to me. Send them my
Got
way.
dreams.
I write funny things every now and then. If you want some of that.
But not consistently. just
You're gonna do stand-up.
Ooh.
This is stand-up.
Ooh. Sarah, I
can't do
think you'd be
stand-up.
such a good stand-up comedian.
Why?
you, Sarah.
Why she pointed? Sarah's my personal stand-up comedian.
I'm so happy, you guys, that you think of it. For some reason, when he said stand-up comedian, I thought of Mike Wazowski in my head. I don't know why.
Sarah's my Mike Wazowski.
Were you thinking of the scene at the end of Monsters Inc.?
He's on
Yeah.
the chair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I
his
know what you're
stand-up
talking
didn't
about.
even do the thing. It was when he fell off the chair. It was his
Yeah.
slapstick
Yeah.
comedy.
Physical comedy is the what got the kid.
That's why.
And
Exactly.
Sarah, how's your physical comedy?
I don't think. I mean, I have like my doctor thinks I have fibromyalgia, so maybe
How
like
does
the
this
muscle
helping?
movements aren't like
I-
you know.
That wasn't the question.
No, but I was leading into it, like you know.
Okay. Wait, so how? I'm sorry, I got a little sidetracked there.
Every episode, Sarah reveals a new diagnosis.
I've told you many times, Sarah's coming back. Oh my god, Sarah, I told my parents about you quitting your job. And they're so proud of you. But I was like, because we were gonna go, and then I was like, oh, Sarah has tonsillitis. And I was like, yeah, Sarah worked with kids and would come back each week with a new illness. My mom was like, yeah. When my mom was, and she said, when I was the like helper mom for your elementary school classroom, I was this close to just spraying kids with Lysol because I was getting ill all the time. And I was like, yeah.
I could so imagine that. She's like, no, get
She's
away
all,
from me.
they're just germs. All of them are germs.
They are.
They're nasty.
They
Kids are
are.
nasty.
I worked with TK, so like these
Yeah.
kids would like I would literally take stuff out of their mouths, like and not
Yeah.
wash my hands. 'Cause I'd be like sidetracked.
No, well,
Yeah.
wait, hold on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I work with elementary school students, and we have iPads for them. And sometimes you
Ooh.
see them pick their nose and then go back to the
Ugh.
iPad.
Nasty.
The fingerprints on the iPad screen.
Yeah, they're
Oh,
like,
yeah,
ugh.
No, yeah,
Kids are
this
disgusting.
semester we were really committed to not having people get sick. My boss has a terrible immune system, so like every other week she's like, I can't be here. I have strep again.
Oh
That
no!
sucks.
Yeah.
Strep sucks.
Oh.
Yeah, so this semester we were really committed to like wiping down everything at the end of the day and like at the beginning of the day. And so far it's so good. No one's been like deathly sick.
Yeah.
That's good.
So yeah. Everyone say thank you, Allie.
Thank you, Allie.
Thank you, Allie.
Thank
we
you,
don't
Allie.
thank you,
Thanks,
Allie.
Beyonce.
Thank you, Allie.
Thank you, Papa.
Wow.
Thank
So, anyways, you have
Beyonce.
fibromyalgia.
Yeah, why are you fibromyalgia?
So you think
Oh, my
not
doctor
confirmed.
thinks I have it
So
Okay.
how is that
'Cause,
helping
yeah.
your
Just a guess.
physical comedy?
because
Yeah,
I fall
let's
a
go
lot.
back.
Okay. Okay.
I'm clumsy. I have very weak muscles.
Okay.
Oh my
think that
god!
there's-
I don't
I
know
think
if I
there's
would
more than
laugh. I
physical
just feel like,
comedy.
are you okay?
Yeah.
Maybe if
That's
there was
funny.
a
You could laugh.
banana peel involved, I would
Oh.
laugh.
Having fibromyalgia isn't the same as pratfalling, babe.
Yeah, that's true.
Please. not
My doctor thinks I have fibromyalgia. That's insane.
I love that you guys asked me that, and I was like, my doctor thinks I have fibromyalgia.
Well,
I mean, that's a good lead in for a joke. Like you're up there and you're like, my doctor
Yeah.
thinks I have fibromyalgia. And so I think this could be a great way to start my career in physical comedy.
And I'm there
go.
in
I
the
will
back
go.
doing a like a tiss, but I only do it with my mouth.
Exactly.
Tiss.
And I'm off to the side and I'm going meow 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 meow.
Very silently throughout the entire performance is meow 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 meow.
Throughout this entire podcast episode.
Meow.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, hold on.
Where? Come back. Oh.
Meow 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 meow. Just in the corner.
Exactly.
My kids sing that all the time.
Yeah.
Meow
Meow meow meow. Okay, I can't do that anymore.
Okay. Meow, 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 meow.
Anyway, sad movie.
Anyways, very sad
Sad
movie.
Depressing.
So
Gotcha.
John
movie.
Singleton,
We're all sad.
yes, extremely upsetting. John Singleton was only 23 when he directed it. He also wrote the screenplay for the film, which he based on his experience growing up in South Central LA. So actually, at the 64th Academy Awards, his film was up for best screenplay and best directing, and it lost to one and only Thelma and Louise for best screenplay,
Oh.
and for directing it lost to the winner of best film, which was Silence of the Lambs. So surprise, surprise.
Mm.
Um,
Oh man.
So it didn't win anything that night?
no, nothing.
Oh, it should have
Damn
won
shame.
something.
I know, but actually, Singleton was the youngest person to be nominated for an Academy Award. So
Oh.
that's saying
Okay.
something.
Good for him.
Guys, if
Yeah.
we put
For him.
something out before October, we could beat that.
Yes.
The four of us collectively.
I think if we start now,
We start now.
feature film. Wait, hold on. What is the timeline of this? Feature film, and then we have to be nominated before.
Oh, no,
That's not gonna-
That's not gonna happen.
That's not gonna work.
You
But
guys
if
have
we-
a
if
chance
we
though, because you
make-
guys are 22.
Yeah, but my
Yeah.
birthday's
The
in
two of
October.
you would have to do it before Emily.
Well, we
turns
can just say like we
22,
wrote and
23.
directed it at 22. By the time we're
Ooh.
nominated, we're 23.
Ooh,
But we
that's
could
good.
be like, but the movie came out when we were 22. You know?
Yeah, but it doesn't count if it
Weekly.
came out when you were 22. It counts when at the age you were when
Well,
you were
Guys,
not.
I'm
if we
gonna make it-
infiltrate the Oscars this year,
Okay.
the one that's coming up in March, I think we can do it. It's already the whole race for Best Picture. It's already fucked. We can be the sneaky ones in.
The sneaky link.
Not
I'm
that.
We
taking
actually
anyone.
demand a recount.
Amelia
But
Perez
can
got
beat Amelia
nominated
Perez.
11 times.
No
We could
Amelia
beat
Perez.
Mika.
Carlos Sofia
No
Gascon
Amelia
is a terrible person apparently.
I know.
That song is stuck in. Wait, she's a terrible person?
She got
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, the
a
film is.
Variety
anti-vax.
reporter went back to her tweets, and every single minority you can think of, she hates.
Yeah.
Like I don't even know where to begin. Like it's crazy these tweets.
I'm just kind of genuinely surprised that it took somebody this long to go
That is
back
true.
through all of her tweets.
That is true.
Well, the
You know
premise
what's
of the
valid?
film is about
'cause, like-
minorities.
Oh yeah, and it's like it's
Which
not
is
a good film
crazy.
about minorities, so you would think that like,
Several.
hey, maybe we should like check in on this, you know?
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like, yeah, she wrote everything in Spanish, but it's not hard to click the translate button that Twitter
Right.
readily provides.
It's too much.
I'm so sorry, but I have the vaginoplasty song stuck in my head like 24/7.
my
Penis to vagina.
my what is it? My coworker, because we sing that to each other every time at my job. He
That's
sent
so funny.
he sent me this on Instagram, and he's like, "I'm gonna buy it."
Oh,
Yes.
Penis to
Yes.
vagina.
And
I love that.
I'm like, that is insane, and I'm like, you should buy it. That's crazy.
Should.
Man to woman.
Woman to
to
man.
did I tell
Allie
you that I
actually-
watched it?
I was like, Allie actually
I
watched it.
Did you?
Well,
Why?
How
because
was it?
my Well, it was like because my mom's on bed rest, so we've been watching movies.
You
Um,
really
You watched it with
Huh?
your mom?
my mom wanted to put it on because she said that her boss recommended it. That her
My
boss was
parents
bringing it
also
up a
watched
lot.
it.
And
Yeah.
I know this lady. I've known her my whole life because my mom's worked there her whole life. It's a small office, and she was just like, apparently she kept bringing it up, and she was like, oh yeah, you should watch Amelia Perez, like it's really good, and it's like da da da. Yeah, so we watched it. I was like, this is not. I don't like this. I don't know if my mom, like it's in Spanish.
What's her
but I don't know if
letterbox
she got the
review?
point.
What?
What's my mom's letterbox review?
I want
I
to
think
know.
she thought it was fine. She thought it was
Okay.
interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Okay.
She thought it was interesting, but she didn't actually like. She's like, "Oh, that was interesting."
We watched Barbie that same weekend. She didn't like Barbie.
Okay.
She's like, it's too
But
pink.
she didn't say
and
anything
there's
about Amelia
music.
Perez.
But Amelia Perez
Nothing
is the
about Amelia
height of cinema.
Man to
To
woman,
woman to
to
man, penis to
man.
yes, 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 yes.
I see.
I see. We also do that to each other. We'll like
Each other.
whenever I need something in the back, he'll be like, yes, 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 yes. I'm like,
I
okay.
love that.
I'm like, okay.
Hey.
It's crazy. Amelia Perez is crazy. Anyway, Boys in the Hood.
Bad singing too.
Boys in the Hood.
Oh yeah, Boys in the Hood. Sorry. We had to mention Amelia Perez just because it's Oscar season and all that. Yeah, so Boys in the Hood, like I mentioned, it lost to Silence of the Lambs, and Thelma and Louise. The filming locations of this film was actually in South Central LA, which was true to the setting. But yeah, it's a culturally like everybody knows this film. Like we were even at the where were we? At the Academy Museum.
At the
Museum.
Academy
Yes.
Museum.
They showed
And
they had
they
an
showed like
exhibit.
a little
February.
exhibit
Right
of
around
it. Yeah. So I mean this is a very culturally like recognized film. Um everybody likes it. So yeah. The film sorry, did I interrupt someone?
No.
Okay. The film stars Lawrence Fishburne, Angela Bassett, Cuba Gooding Jr., who looks 30 in this film. Ice
Thumbs
Cube.
down apparently from Sarah. The little bubble came up and it was like thumbs
Oh, it
down.
I'm sorry,
Bad
Cuba
movie.
Gooding Jr. I apologize. I saw a letterbox review that was like, it was like, why does Cuba Gooding Jr. look older than Lawrence Fishburne in this film? And I'm like,
They
yeah.
also didn't bother to age up Lawrence Fishburne.
No, I
No.
They
saw
gave
that.
him
No.
They were like, let's
glasses
give him
to show
glasses.
that time has passed.
Yeah. He's a young dad, but still, like, they
It's
could have done
true.
something. Yeah.
I was like, salt and pepper his hair a little bit, something.
Yeah. Oh, and I don't think I mentioned, but the film also stars Ice Cube,
Ice Cube.
Yeah.
who I think is the
Didn't
most
have to-
recognized
Didn't have to mention it.
actor in the film.
I
Yeah.
didn't realize. So I knew Ice Cube was in the film, but I didn't realize that the beginning part is about them as children and everything. And then I was like, "Is Ice Cube like way younger than I thought he was? Am I?
I thought
Have
the
I
same
gone
thing.
insane? Like, was he? No, NWA was happening. How is this? Like, and then I was like, oh, they're gonna age him up.
It's just a kid rapping in NWA.
I was like,
Like,
what the hell?
crazy.
Like,
I immediately knew which kid was gonna be played by Ice Cube, like when they aged them up, because he's
Oh, yeah,
wearing
100%.
the baseball hat, which
Yeah.
Ice Cube never takes off.
to show the time has passed.
yeah, I was trying to figure out because I know the guy. They added 2 new like characters, and then the guy Chris, the one at the beginning who was arrested, ended up being in a wheelchair, which I did
Right,
not
oh,
connect
yeah.
was that guy.
Yes.
Do we know why he got into the wheelchair?
He was shot.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, I don't. Do they? I think they might touch on it a bit in the film, but I did some digging, and that's how I found out.
Okay.
I don't know why I thought it was like AIDS, and I was like, it's not AIDS.
Why?
No?
Why would no? Anyone else? No. Why was AIDS your first thought?
at the scene where they're all together as adults and they're playing spades, or they're about to start playing spades.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they start talking about that. My brain went to AIDS, but they're talking about STDs.
And he's already in the wheelchair, and he's at this point.
I didn't think about that. Now that you mention it, yeah.
I think they talk about not using like protection too. And he's like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get AIDS. I think they do mention AIDS. I think Ice
They
Cube does.
do, but he's still
Yeah.
in the wheelchair at this point.
Because
Yeah.
he's
He's
talking
very
about, like,
healthy.
oral- yeah. Well, yeah. But yeah, they're talking about like oral sex, and he's like, "Wait, can you actually catch something even like from oral sex?" And he's like, "Well, yes, but you can."
Yes, you can. And use
Well,
protection.
yes.
To everyone out there, make sure.
That's a great PSA.
Also get
I love
tested.
that segue.
Also
Yeah.
get tested.
What?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Get tested.
That.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
waggling. Emily's waggling a finger.
Waggling.
Ooh, I don't like that word.
Use protection.
Waggling?
Waggling.
Responsibly.
Why don't you like it?
It just sounds like a British term for masturbation.
Probably
I've
is.
been waggling. Oh my god.
Oh.
You know what? I hope it is. That is hilarious
I hope
if
it
it is.
I'm waggling.
Right.
Oh, I
Yeah.
waggled today.
Bloody hell. Bloody hell, I just waggled today.
Bloody hell.
Oh,
Oh no. I waggled.
I waggled in my trousers.
Okay.
That's so funny. Oh my god.
I'm sorry. I know they say wank. Which, I can't say that word, huh?
What? Oh, hello? I don't even know what that
It's a
means.
really bad word.
What does it mean?
No, is it?
It's like, I guess it's just like the F word. I don't know, but like, some
Ah.
British person said you can't say it.
Because
No, that's a different word.
Wanking?
That also starts with F.
like
no,
the
no.
wanker.
wanker.
Wanker?
Yeah, okay. Maybe I'm just pulp.
My necklace broke.
Of course. Oh, is it okay?
No, it broke.
No.
It's like the little thing of I'll fix that later. Sorry.
Did the chain break?
Yeah, like the little, you know how you clasp it on and everything, and it's
Oh, I
like
hate that.
on one
Yeah.
end.
Glass
Well,
broke.
essentially, yeah, it broke.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh.
I hate when that happens.
Oh my god. I recently bought like a bunch of magnetic clasps for my necklaces because I am so tired of like the tiny little clasps.
I love
whatever.
my magnet. I have magnet
You're so
clips
good
on a
for
couple
that. That's
necklaces.
a great
Yeah.
idea, actually.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah.
I didn't know those existed. I'm gonna buy those.
But I have to, because of the necklaces, I have to keep them separate because they want to go to each other because of the
Yeah.
magnets. Did you guys know magnets attract metal?
Whoa!
Really?
What?
Crazy.
I had no
I didn't know
clue.
that.
I had no clue.
Anyways, why did you think that wanker was synonymous with the F slur?
I was watching a British thing, or I was in the comment section, and somebody said wanker, and someone was like, "You can't say that. That's like saying the." Essentially, he equated it with the N word, and I was like, "That's not."
It's kind
So
of
that's
like
why,
that
like,
one
I
John.
just did.
It's like that one John
That's
Mulaney
how-
joke where it's
Yeah.
like they were like
You know, you're
midget
saying
is the new N word. It's like you're saying one of them, but you're not saying the
You're not
other.
saying the other.
So there's obviously something worse.
Different. Also,
I feel like-
wanker is just like asshole.
I thought I meant like dick because you're wanking.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Let me look this
yeah.
up. Is wanker
It's
a
your
bad,
dick.
really bad word?
Although I think you actually can't say the M1 anymore. I don't know if that's.
Which one?
Yeah.
were you what?
Well, now I can't say it. The one from the John Mulaney bit.
Oh yes, don't say that word.
I can say
Yeah.
it though.
No, you can't. You're not actually.
That is.
I've been called that before.
Oh.
Okay, it says wanker is the fourth most severe pejorative in English.
What?
The BBC describes it as
Awesome.
moderately offensive. and almost
only
certain to generate
moderate.
complaints.
Okay,
moderate.
Merriam-Webster says it's chiefly British slang. It's usually vulgar. It means a person who masturbates, or it's like a jerk.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they said it in The Simpsons, so
You wank up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, it has to do with a dick, because you're wanking.
Yeah. Also, they say it in every British TV show and movie, so it can't be that bad.
that is true.
True.
Look at this. Phil Collins used the word in his 1984 cameo appearance on Miami Vice, and has been credited with introducing the word to America.
Wow, thank you, Phil Collins.
Phil Collins.
God bless you.
Collins.
I forgot he was British.
I
Phil
can
Collins?
feel it coming in the air tonight. All right.
Oh,
Oh shit.
I don't think it's that bad of a word. I don't know where I got that from.
not a bad word.
Sarah's being Sarah's never mind.
Sarah, you're
I
being a
can't do
little
this
bit too woke.
anymore.
You're a little bit too woke, Sarah.
No, everybody get more woke for the love of God Almighty.
Please get more woke.
Get
Please get
more
more woke,
woke.
everybody. Please get more woke.
So, anyways, speaking of NWA, they were a rap group that was formed in the 80s that spurned a lot of great rappers, as we know. Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, Eazy-E, just kind of basic stuff. But I know Allie like brought this up, like, because she's like, doesn't this have to do with NWA? Yes. Boys in the Hood comes from a song. It wasn't an NWA song, but it was a song sang by Eazy-E called Boys in the Hood, and then but Ice Cube actually wrote it, so they made a remix of that song a couple years later, and Ice Cube actually does sing it with Eazy-E. But yes, that's the connection with NWA that you were talking about, because you're like, am I sure that this? You're like, this has to do with NWA, but I'm not sure. But you were
I
right.
remembered seeing something at the museum about it, but I couldn't remember like what it was. Also, my dad saw the NWA in concert.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah, he's like, it got shut down by the police.
Oh, the one that's
Yeah.
in Straight Outta Compton. That's shown
Yes.
in Straight Outta My dad loves Straight Outta Compton.
I've never seen it. I've been wanting to see it. I remember when that came out, people would like, they'd sell like shirts in the city we live in, and it would be like straight out of.
I saw
Beep.
someone wearing that shirt. I'd shake my head. My great grandma's from Compton.
We
She was
love
born
that.
in Compton.
For her.
Okay.
Represent.
Represent Patricia. R.I.P. girl.
Represents. I'm pretty sure my great grandparents grew up in South Central,
Well, there you go.
Okay. Okay.
but they were Mexican, so that's different.
This is different.
Oh, yeah.
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 So, yeah. So how did you guys? I feel like this segue. So how did you guys feel about the film? Was it your first time watching it?
Yes.
Yes.
I enjoyed it quite a bit. I thought it was really engaging. I like that even though, you know, it's incredibly sad and everything, it's also a coming of age story in a way. Especially with the main guy that I can't remember the name of right
Trey.
now. Trey.
Right.
Thank you. He's just living his life. He's in high school and everything. It's his senior year, and he's just trying. And he has to deal with a bunch of shit. Yep.
Yeah.
Shit.
It's also
Well,
just
also,
a
like-
really funny movie.
It is funny.
It's funny and it's fun.
It is.
It's very fun.
People aren't getting murdered. But
It's very fast paced, which is why I think I
Yes.
really enjoyed it. Is because I cannot handle most cinema because
Oh.
of how slow it is.
Oh.
But this film was just like, yeah, sorry, Thomas pedophiles.
Boo.
Sorry, I got a short attention
You
span.
should
I gotta put
watch-
Subway Surfers on.
You should not the Subway Surfers. You should watch Jean Delman.
Is that boring?
It's 4.5 hours.
Oh hell no.
And it
Absolutely.
showcases a woman's life over 3 days, showing the same, like, events and activities and errands she has to do over 3 days. I've watched it. Jean
Okay.
Delmin, 23, Boursil, 1080, something like that.
It did sound British, or it did sound French.
It's French.
You know what's funny about it is, like, I hate Kate, because when we saw Nosferatu the other day, I was like, this film's almost 3 hours long. It's like, why are movies so long now? Make them short. Like, I miss when movies were an hour and, like,
This is
49 minutes.
Sarah, people's attention spans are already so bad. That's why we're here politically.
I know, but, like, I miss.
Some of them are too long.
They are.
Some of them
Yes.
are too long. It's like usually
We don't
gets
need
the
to drag
point.
this out. Just
Sometimes
quick.
I just want to watch a movie for an hour.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you know,
An hour?
But we
Yeah.
don't have to analyze. And that's the thing too. Is like films don't always have to be analyzed. You know what I mean?
No!
Like
Oh my
we could just watch
This
it
is
for fun.
awful!
Wait a minute. Sarah,
Help! Help!
They don't have to. You could just watch a film for the sake of just wanting to watch a film. Like I'm not watching Shrek 2 being like the socio-political. Like you know what I mean?
Everything you make, every
but
step
you're
you
doing that
take is political! No
doing
matter
that, like-
what! I'm serious!
I will die on this hill.
Oh my
Sarah,
You
god.
sound so
Some of
right
the
wing
My
right now.
my
It's like-
opinion of Sarah has changed.
Sarah.
I can't. Yeah, I was trying to think of a way to defend you because sometimes I do want to just like put on a movie for an hour.
Yeah.
So I watched like okay, like Little Forest, which is a South Korean movie, and it doesn't really have like a plot. It's just this girl who moves back to her home in like the country from like living in the city. It's fun. It's nice. I recommend that one. But some movies do need to be 2 hours long because I need more. Like sometimes you watch a shorter movie and you're like, I needed more.
Yes.
You know, it's like it just depends on the film sometimes.
Well,
I think that's
But
why
Sarah,
I
you
prefer
have an
TV
English
shows
degree.
because they do go more in depth.
I think
Also,
Sorry,
just
no,
like
my-
analyzing isn't always like a super conscious
no.
thing that you're doing. Like simply just like watching the movie and interpreting the movie.
Well, yeah,
Is-
you
is
analyze
analyzing.
everything.
Well,
Yeah. But sometimes I just want to watch, a film just for the sake of, entertainment.
Background noise? Sure.
Well, that's fine.
Sure.
Everyone, please get more woke, get more intellectual for the love of God. It's so bad. I'm an L.
Well, you can still be intellectual about different things,
Other things. Yeah.
Hmm.
That's the problem with academia and highbrow literature.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The highbrow literature, exactly.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I had ever... I probably would make my essay on that if Esdras didn't steal it.
What? Oh,
You're-
highbrow literature. Didn't you do
Oh,
something
highbrow?
similar though?
I did do something very similar.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
That's okay.
It's okay. Get more woke, everyone.
Okay.
For the love of God.
Okay. Fight over.
Cinephiles versus plebs argument.
Lebs.
Okay.
But then that's like a sense of superiority.
Oh, I'm
over people.
superior.
And it's like,
I know I am.
like, I'm better than you because I analyze films kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta find the middle ground.
I do think I'm better than people.
No.
I think
No.
I love being, like, pretentious. I love it. It's one of the greatest highlights of my life. I like analyzing things. I love reading things that are considered highbrow. It makes... Yes! You know what? I am better. And you know
Yeah.
what? I die on this hill. I think I'm...
Yeah.
It's okay. I
Interesting.
still love you, Sarah. I give you a big kiss.
That is very interesting.
Is our opinions changing about each other? Are we not friends anymore?
No,
friends
we're gonna.
anymore.
I'm gonna like turn my back, and you're gonna turn your back, and we'll be like,
We're Sarah,
I still with my cousin.
Yeah.
Talk to the hand.
I'm gonna be like this the whole episode.
Anyways,
Anyway, guys,
Anyways. Okay, awesome. Super cool, super rad, super
Yeah.
awesome. Please engage with art.
Love of God.
Please engage with
Well,
art.
it's not that like not to engage with art. It's just certain things don't always have to have, you know, a meaning behind it.
What?
Art
Sarah.
Sarah, you're digging
I think
yourself in
Alan's
a
gonna
hole.
art is subjective, and art is
Exactly,
found
yeah.
That's a different
within.
argument.
You don't.
Well, that's a
Is that?
completely different
That's a
argument.
different argument.
Oh,
That's
no,
a
not really,
completely
'cause
argument.
I don't know.
you can analyze, I don't know.
Well, like it can be like appreciated in different way. I don't know. How was the
Yeah,
argument?
exactly.
I've lost
It can be
my train of
appreciated.
thought.
Well, I always think of the subjective argument as like we're going to analyze things different way and we're going to look at things differently, but that doesn't detract from our viewing of the
Of
thing.
course.
But then the Sarah's argument, the not everything needs to be analyzed is just anti-intellectualism.
Yes.
And you know
And I
what?
do
I stand by anti-intellectualism.
What? No, no. That's so bad.
No.
This is why I smoke and you guys don't. No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
You know what? Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. Sarah's
This is
cooler.
why-
This goes back
is why
to would
Sarah's
you rather
cooler
be
than us.
cool or
You
smart?
gotta be cool, guys.
Fuck.
You
This
gotta
is
be
why,
cool.
yeah. This is why Sarah's so much cooler.
This is
than
why
us.
Sarah's cooler than us. Because she's an anti-intellectual.
Awesome.
Fuck, she's right.
Fuck.
No, but like, yeah. So, but when it comes to this film, going back to this film, I think this film definitely does need to be analyzed because
Yes.
there is so much just like socio-economic, racial, like just not even undertones at this point, overtones in this entire film. It just makes a complete statement about a lot of these things. I'm trying to look at my notes. Um blah, 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 blah. Yeah, like it kind of it brings up different themes that I genuinely I feel like it kind of I think the reason why this film, you know, everyone knows is because it introduced a lot of these topics to the public. And so after this, you know, you see a bunch of like other like, you know, I think they call them like crime hood films, like Menace to
Mm.
Society, Poetic Justice, all of those films kind of arose from the making of this film. So how did you guys feel about this film? I have not heard May or Ali talking about this.
oh, it's just like I'm so glad I watched it. Like it's just so important. I really, I don't know if resonated is the right word, but like what you were saying, like with all the like the overtones in the movie and how it kind of introduced this like new genre. It's like one of Doughboy's last lines in the movie where he's talking about how on the TV they're like playing clips from not Vietnam, but like the war is abroad and like how people are suffering abroad. And he's like, but no one's looking here. Like my brother
Mm-hmm.
died, but there's nothing about my brother in the news. Cause like, yeah, this stuff's still happening, and it's like the system's built to make people continue these cycles where they like hurt each other and put each other down, black people especially. And it's like no one's trying to fix that problem before they're, you know, distracting themselves with problem. Not that the problems abroad aren't important,
Mm-hmm.
but like we have those same problems here, and we're
Mm-hmm.
not placing that same importance or value on them here. So,
Yeah. No,
yeah.
definitely. And especially like within like the hood, like never ever you never see it on the news.
Hmm.
Any of the
And
issues
if you do,
affecting the hood.
it's portrayed portrayed a lot more negatively than it would be like if you had that same problem abroad.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hmm.
I liked how it showed like it doesn't really if you're in this situation and if you're in this like demographic, it doesn't matter how quote unquote like well you're raised because Lawrence Fishburne is like the good dad or whatever. Like he's like the model of like what like a good dad should be and he raises
Mhm.
Trey very well in all respects, but Trey still ends up like in this situation where best friend dies in his arms, and like his other friend like kills other people, like it's still a really bad situation. Like even if you
Yeah.
are like put in like a better position just based on like who your parents are, and like also his mom is rich or something. She lives
Yeah.
in fucking Inglewood or something, so she's very well off, and like Trey could be like more well off, but he's still stuck in this situation.
Yeah, definitely. Like you can't escape. It just depends on where you were born and where you live. Also, like, just the fact that I think he was kind of making a statement because about like quote unquote fatherless behavior, like because Trey does have a father and the other characters don't.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I
So
was
there's
confused
also
about
that.
whether Ricky had maybe not as present of a father as Trey, but like he had that ball from
So
him,
he had
and he
that
had a
ball.
different ball.
He
Yeah, his dad bought him a football one time,
he
and that
has
changed everything.
his dad and Doughboy's dad are
Yeah, they're
two
different.
different dads, and I mean the mom obviously likes Ricky way more, and it's also it's a
Mhm.
showcasing like again it's all about a lot of this movie is also about like parenting styles, I
Mhm.
guess is a way to say it,
Yeah.
and being like
Yeah,
because the mom very clearly cares about Ricky and wants the best because Ricky is a way of escape, is a way out because he
Mhm.
gets into USC, he gets the SAT score I think that he needs to
Yeah.
when he dies, and
Mhm.
so she's caring for them, she saw and she nurtured that even as a young child versus Doughboy who very much gets the short end of the stick in the whole situation and everything, and he yeah.
Oh, for sure.
But
Yeah.
then
I
at
mean,
the
I
end,
think
it doesn't matter as well because at the end,
mhm,
it's like, oh,
they both.
they both die, and it's
Mhm.
and yeah,
No, I think parental like negligence really does play a part in the film, like especially that scene where the little girl's running in the street.
oh, with the
Um,
yeah,
yeah,
yes,
and he picks him up and gives it back to the mom, gives her back to the mom.
yeah.
Um,
Keep your damn
yeah, that
babies out
scene
the street.
too.
Yeah. Or
Yeah,
also
Mhm.
when like Ricky, like, because Ricky has a kid, like Ricky has like a
yeah.
Mhm.
1-year-old with
Ricky's
his
a single
girlfriend or
parent.
whatever. And like when Ricky's dead, like the kid's mom just doesn't let the kid go while she's like literally hovering over Ricky's dead body.
right,
Like
Mhm.
she's forcing the kid to
Mhm.
bear witness to his
Mhm.
dad's dead body.
Mhm. And Doughboy, kind of growing up in that environment, wants to get the kid
get
away from
out,
that, but she
Yeah.
doesn't
Mhm.
because he understands the effect that has on you
Yeah.
growing up. Mhm. Yeah, interesting story. When I watched this for the first time, I knew Ricky was going to die because
Yeah.
in like it just like the setup, it just made sense. And like
He's
him
got
being
dead
the
guy written
quote
all over him.
unquote, yeah, the one with the potential.
right,
Um
Mhm.
yeah, it was totally gonna
and
happen. Especially that scene where he's like peeing on the wall and Cuba Gooding Jr. is like, "We need to go, man." And he's like, "No, no, 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 like let me just do it." I was like, "Oh, he dead. Like
yeah.
he's gonna
He's
die."
dead.
It's not
Yeah.
the time. Hold it.
And I
What?
mean, the story says that right at the beginning when it's over, I guess, the beginning credits and everything. There's another shooting that doesn't, when they're about to go see the dead body, but the voice says, oh, my brother, they shot my brother, and everything. And it's
Yeah.
already setting up the idea of the
Mhm.
brother is gonna die. Obviously,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
learn which
that's
one.
true.
Mm.
I didn't catch on to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Allie?
Oh, I was just saying, no, just Ricky when he pees while they're running away from the shooters. I was just like, hold it. Like, this is not the time.
This isn't.
No, time
So,
and
This is
place.
not the time. Time
Time
and
and
place.
place, man.
My salad.
I feel like it just also shows how much more street smart Doughboy is. Um, than Ricky, because I feel like
Yeah.
Ricky in that situation is just kind of a little bit more clueless than Doughboy is.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
and so he's just like, nah, I just gotta pee. And then Cuba Gooding Jr. is like, no, man, like we have to go. Like, and then
Yeah.
boy, after seeing them, in the car, is like, shit, my brother, I gotta go.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they also thought that those other guys like were just bluffing. They didn't think that they would actually go after Ricky. Right? Doesn't somebody say that?
Yeah, well,
I
they're
think
taunting
Yeah.
them
Bill
at the
Boy.
beginning and everything,
Yeah.
being next to their house and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And so they think, they're trying to call their bluff, but it didn't. It was actually real.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's crazy about the scene is Chris, the guy who's in the wheelchair, they literally get in the car, and then when they find Ricky, he like comes up in the wheelchair. I was like, how did you get there that fast?
How did you
Like,
get out?
Yeah.
Well, they have to, and they have to like carry him up the stairs and everything.
He's very like
He's just that good.
like mobile in his wheelchair. Like he's popping
Yes.
wheelies.
Yeah,
he
he's
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
Yeah.
strong.
Mhm.
I have a question
So-
about one of the guys in that group as well.
Mhm.
Why did that one guy have a pacifier? What is?
Oh,
listen, I'm
I'm
a tad
obsessed with him.
confused on that.
I'm obsessed with that guy. He's so funny.
So it's actually like a Freudian,
Well,
like oral fixation.
Oh,
No, I'm
I
kidding.
know about
Yes.
oral fixations, but why?
No,
Why was that unnecessary character development? You know what I got when I older? Pacifier. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, John, I actually read about that. John Singleton actually, he had a friend who would do that to stop the cravings for smoking. So he had the character.
Oh.
Yeah.
Polarization.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Wow.
I
You
have
know what?
heard- I've
And
heard
Sarah,
about
maybe
that.
you need it. I see you lighting up every day.
I have an oral fix.
What?
I have an oral fixation.
Oh, do you?
Oh.
I like to chew on things.
Pika.
Okay, Slay.
Pika,
Pika.
Pikachu,
Pikachu.
Pikachu. Yeah, I think in this film, I'm looking at a picture of Tupac. I think Singleton wanted Tupac in this. I'm looking at the Poetic Justice poster. I think Tupac. I think John Singleton wanted to cast Tupac in this role, but he like scheduling differences or something. So we could have almost had Tupac in
Well,
in
that'd be
Boys in the
crazy.
Hood.
That would have been crazy.
Yes.
Okay.
I remember seeing that at the museum too. But when did Tupac die? Not in the 90s. He died in the early 2000s?
Let me look that up. I think it was the late 90s.
thought it
like
was the 90s.
It is the
Yeah.
90s.
Yeah,
I thought it was 90s, right?
it was like the late 90s.
Very nice.
Okay, but
96.
that wasn't why he was
96.
that was
90s.
why he wasn't in Hollywood. That was too late.
Yeah.
Never mind.
He was 25. Crap. I thought he
She was
older
only
than that.
25?
He was young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Shit.
Tupac,
That's
no.
crazy.
Fuck no.
He was in Poetic Justice with Janet Jackson.
Well,
We actually
Okay.
we drove by where he passed away.
that is true.
Oh,
We
in
went to the
Vegas?
Academy Museum.
On Flamingo Boulevard?
Flamingo
Oh, no, that was Biggie.
That was Biggie.
Victoria's.
Biggie
That was
got
Victoria's.
No,
Biggie
right by
got
right by the, honestly, right by the Academy Museum.
Like in front of
Yeah.
it.
Oh, that's right. I said
Mhm.
that. I
You were like,
forgot.
this is where Biggie got shot.
I was like,
We
this
were
is.
like, what?
It was silent in the car, and I went, this is where Tupac got shot.
Biggie.
Biggie was in Vegas.
No, Tupac was Vegas, Biggie was LA.
Oh, am I thinking? No.
No,
sorry.
you reversed them.
Sorry.
You have it pulled up, right?
But
Yeah.
what's crazy about Tupac and Biggie is, so the same bodyguard that was with Tupac the night he died was also with Biggie, Suge Knight,
Ooh.
which is crazy.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Sarah's
and
going
he
to
actually was just in prison.
conspiracies.
There's a BuzzFeed Unsolved episode on this.
There-
Also,
Yes, that's
There
right.
is?
Yeah.
D Pity is connected to both of those shootings.
Oh, that is true.
Did you just say D Pity?
He
Did you say
is.
D. Pity?
He is connected.
No, she said D
No.
Pity.
Oh,
D.
but did I
Pity.
say it wrong?
It's P
Yeah.
Diddy.
P Diddy. D Pity. I didn't even
Diddy
notice.
P. Diddy, babe.
D
So
Pity.
That's
tired.
funny.
That's
I'm
so
so
funny.
sorry.
We can get his name wrong. It's fine.
Yeah,
We
he's
can't
an
get
awful
his-
human.
No, we can. He doesn't
cares?
deserve us to say his name right. What are some of the notes I have on the film here? I talk about, let's see. Oh, I also caught the reference of the Stand By Me reference as well, Allie, when they're on the
Yes.
train tracks.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
I caught that, yeah.
was like, that's Stand By Me.
Yeah.
I read a Letterboxd review about it, and the person in the Letterboxd review, I can't remember their name, but they were like, yeah, in Stand By Me, it's seen as this big, culminating thing. Like, we're seeing a dead body get together, life-changing, life-altering event.
Yeah.
But for the
takes the whole
kids,
movie.
it's just an average day. And that shows, like,
Yeah.
their relationship to the landscape that they live in and everything and what they're growing up with.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Also, the fact that they just left the dead body there. But then when I think about it, like, the
Yeah, what would
police
you
didn't do shit.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, just another day,
Another day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they were also told to leave it alone by the older kids, older men. They're like, leave him alone.
Older
Not
guys.
doing anything to you. Older guys.
Mhm.
So I'm like,
Yeah.
maybe they don't want him to be found because he's like involved in something bigger, one of the
Mhm.
local like gang
Yeah.
gang wars or something. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That
Mhm.
scene was crazy to me. Cause I can't try saying I can't say Doughboy
Oh boy.
was like trying to defend his brother, and the guy just starts like kicking him, and I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
that's a
That's a
kid.
child.
Yeah.
That's a child.
That's a child.
But I think a lot of the film had a lot of like violent moments like that, kind of like in your face, and you know served a purpose.
Well, you kind of see it when Doughboy gets taken away for the first time. Because, like, that's, I guess, more of a subtle act that kind of sets off, like, well, like, it predetermines, like, how he ends up in the rest of his life. Because he probably got taken in for something. He said he was going to the store. He probably got taken in for something small and stupid. He probably
Like
picked up a
stealing.
candy
It was
bar.
I think they
stealing,
said
yeah.
Well,
shoplifting.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
shoplifting.
it was shoplifting, but, like, it was probably, like, he's not stealing a TV or
Yeah.
diamonds.
Petty
He picked up a
theft.
candy
Yeah.
bar.
Yeah, but it's
And, like,
also
had that
interesting
big-
because like
Yeah.
because they're put. I don't know if they were like put in jail, put in prison, what, but they're
They were
also
put in
like
juvie.
they put in juvie, but they're also like 10 years old.
Yes.
Like these are
Yeah.
like actually children,
Back in
and
the
it's
police car, like
yeah,
handcuffed.
back police car handcuffed.
Handcuffed.
They have a police officer in the back seat with them. Like you're going through a lot of effort for a child that stole probably like a Kit Kat, you know?
Well, we don't know what he stole. He could have stolen like
Yeah.
something his mom needed. Like you
Yeah,
don't.
truthfully.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
like it's so interesting to me how like I don't know, not to like, talk about the state of everything, I guess, but just the way that like white children will get treated when they literally smash people's mailboxes or something like
Right.
that. And then you
100%.
have like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying
Just-
anything revolutionary or new or anything.
Well, and then black children are always like predetermined adults as children. They're treated as
Yeah.
adults. They're not allowed to be children and make mistakes and everything because of the way our society treats them and everything. It's yeah, they're not, so they're being treated by a police state in a way that an adult would be treated if they're stealing like a fucking car or something, even if it's
Yeah.
I also
And just-
thought it was interesting. I'm sorry.
No, continue. I was just gonna say that it just shows like how making assumptions about a person's character kind of does determine how they do grow up. Because if you're gonna treat somebody like, oh, they're stealing like a criminal,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like they're gonna end up
Yeah.
growing up in that environment,
Right.
and it predetermines how they are or how they grow up.
right.
I
And
also
he's
thought it was
already doing that at
interesting
home.
that
Yes, go on.
the quote unquote like bad cop was like a black guy.
Black.
Yeah.
And he was like, and they made the white cop out to be like the reasonable one, which is with our perspective of like 2025, like that's not, it's like it would be reversed from our perspective. But I just kind of thought it was interesting how they hammered in the point that, because like the statistic at the beginning of the film was like most black Americans will be killed by other black Americans or
Mhm.
something like that. And I just thought it was really interesting that they made the authoritative antagonist to be a black man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The internalized racism.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's showing how he's, and I think it's the same kind of way when what is it, Ricky? It's the same kind of idea when Ricky sees the army commercial and he's like, I'm gonna go into the army and everything. They think
Mm-hmm.
he thinks that's the only way, and then Trey is like, absolutely not. Do not fucking go into the army. You're gonna get killed. You're killing others. You know, you're doing these things. But
Especially as
it's
a black
these
man.
predetermined ways that our society has created, especially for black men. And the only way out is one through them and everything, through like the government in any capacity, any form, and with violence, whether that be police force, whether that be the military, whether that be et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
It has to be. It's what is it? It's like pre-sanctioned violence, something like that, where it's their sanctioned violence, like you're committing, crimes for a government entity, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like the
You're
only way
playing
out
their game.
is against.
Yes.
Yes, continue.
Yeah. Just that. Yeah, you're playing their game. Did I have another thought? I don't think so. I think that was it.
No, you were saying something before, and like I think we cut you off.
I don't think so.
Okay.
And the dad is the force that. And Allie, I read your note about it. The
I love
dad
the dad.
has a lot of teachings that align with Black Panther teachings.
Lawrence Fishburne.
Lawrence Fishburne,
Yes.
who I think this is his best role I've seen him in. I like this one's the best. But yeah, a lot of his teachings are, they're about community, especially black community. It's a whole speech about gentrification, especially in Compton. That is Black Panther teaching, saving money. If you're gonna work, you're in a capitalistic society, make it work for you, essentially. Make money stay where it needs to be and not with outside entities. Stay within a community and uplift a community rather than a government.
Yeah, I think that's a very profound speech. And especially the part where he mentions how, like, on every corner in, like, an underprivileged neighborhood, you will see a liquor store. Versus in more, like, higher upscale areas. And he talks about, they just want us to kill each other. And that's so funny because after I saw that, I noticed that. Like, when I was driving, and I was like, oh, shit.
There's
This is real.
It reminds me of a tweet I saw that was like, it was like some right winger was essentially like, what do you mean the highways are racist? What do you mean, blah, 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 blah. And this person who is not right wing was like, yeah, it sounds insane to say like, oh, highways are racist, but they are. It's the way you make highways that are, the way you, redlining or something like that. The way you sanction off cities, the way you sanction off governments and that sort of thing. That's where that racism comes in. And
exactly.
It's the same idea with liquor stores and gun stores and that sort of thing.
I mean, urban planning plays a huge role in just like racial relations, things like that. But also the fact that a lot of the highways and freeways were built in areas where minorities lived, and so they kind of, through eminent domain, lost a lot of their homes.
They plowed through cities and everything. They plowed through, or they built new towns on top of, wealthy black neighborhoods or prosperous neighborhoods that had predominantly people of color. Like, it's insane. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then after that, you have to go into the environmental racism of it all, because who's living next to the freeways? Who's breathing in all that dust and the exhaust?
Exactly.
What's pouring into our rivers, and who's using those rivers?
Exactly. The structure that is killing people. Exactly.
Yeah, I think in 2025 we have to go back to Black Panther teachings.
Yes.
Free lunch for all. Keep everything in the community. Watch out for your own. Give, and you shall receive, and whatnot.
This is the most serious Brats in the Back Row
No, yeah,
episode where we talk about we're not all jokes, people.
gentrification.
We also know things.
God, we have degrees.
No, but like,
It's all up here.
what was I saying? I forgot what I was gonna. What was I saying? I don't know. Continue.
All right. I don't know.
I was
Hold
talking
on.
about we're talking about environmental racism, and then I was.
I will say that I think that like we were talking also about how like, you know, with the liquor stores and the freeways and the way things are like structured around like communities of color, like not only is it meant to, it's designed to both kill them but also make them kill themselves, but it's
Yeah.
also designed to keep them in there.
Exactly.
In-
Yes, 100%.
Yeah,
Yes.
because like one of the things that like stood out to me, like at the end when they're doing like the post-credit scene, like Doughboy dies, but then the last thing that they say is that Trey leaves. Like he manages to leave, and like of all the characters, like he's kind of the only one that had the capacity to get out of the situation that he was in, sort of, you know, because he had the good dad who was teaching like, you know, Black Panther teachings, and he had the rich mom or like wealthy mom who, you know, didn't live with them, but she was still providing for him and such. He had like a religious, faithful girlfriend that was like who didn't want to have sex out of wedlock, you know, all those things. It's like he did kind of everything right, but it's still like in some ways it worked out for him because he managed to get out, but in other ways like he's still stuck there because like all of his friends have been killed.
He's
Yeah.
a,
He was
he still
Yeah.
he still has to carry it with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like the
'cause even
setup.
Yeah, even with
Continue.
Ricky, he's the one who like everyone thinks is gonna get out because of his football scholarship and whatnot. But what I kept thinking, like when the USC guy, when the recruiter is sitting in his living room and whatever, Ricky has a family. Like that makes it so much harder because how he still has to like somehow provide for them, or like he
Right.
can't take them to USC with him. He has to. I was like, this isn't gonna work out for him because he's either gonna have to like leave his family behind, or give up USC, because he can't do both. It's really hard.
Exactly.
And there's a lot of people who are in those situations.
Yeah. It's also
So in a way,
also
his
like
death kind of
his
serves as like a
wake up
prevention
call,
of that happening. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also like not only does he have his girlfriend and his kid, but he also has like his mom who is very codependent on Ricky. Like I don't think that Ricky ever parents her, but I don't think that she parents him in the way that you kind of would expect. Sort of like they're very like not equal really, but it's like the power dynamics between the two of them and like the mother-son relationship between the two of them is really off skew. Right?
Yeah. Well, she kind of said it herself. Like that's why she treats him different than Doughboy because of his dad. So I feel like she kind of views, what's his name, Ricky as like replacing the dad.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say it was interesting talking about like urban planning and things like that. To not to make things political.
No.
But it just kind of speaks about because how am I gonna say this? It kind of speaks about how the way that people think that we can solve like crimes and stuff is to, you know, get rid of like immigrants and things like that. But it's like the root of the issue. It's so systemic. The root of the issue is like there are so many different factors that play into that. Getting rid of one thing isn't going to solve the problem.
Literally.
You know, and not that they are the problem, but like it just, you know, I don't know, I just find that argument so interesting. And it's just like there's so like even like studying like sociology, I was like there's so many different factors that play into things that people don't even realize. Like it's just it's way deeper than that, you know.
It's this whole the only real solution there is to everything if you want a total, you know, revamp is an upheaval of a current government system. And even then, it will not solve everything because
yeah, it's
it's so
unachievable, yeah.
ingrained into American culture and American society and, you know,
Yeah.
beyond. I'm just talking about America here. But it's the way we live, the way we talk to each other is so based in, you know, a government, these government entities that have systemic oppression and everything.
Exactly. And I
That,
feel like
yeah.
a history that we can't recover from. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like because California was talking about giving Black families like reparations, just because of how because of generational wealth, and a lot of Black families weren't able to accumulate that. It's very difficult
Of
for,
course.
a lot of them to own, a lot of, I guess the word is like liquid assets, like housing, cars, things like that. And so, history just plays a huge role. And it's like, how are we able to recover from that,
And
Yeah.
exactly. And I mean, that reminds me of, I mean, the fires just happened, and one of the biggest fires was in Altadena, which is a primarily Black neighborhood and
Yeah,
everything.
exactly.
And that in itself is a, you know, systemic issue because they are more susceptible to fires and everything being where they are, in those hills and everything. That's where fires, you know, with the brush and whatnot. But their neighborhood, that in itself is systemic oppression and everything, that being where they are.
Exactly.
And now that whole neighborhood, that whole city has been devastated, and that in itself is going to hurt whatever, you know, accruement of wealth, accruement of, you
Yeah.
know, resources gain, whatever. And it's going to be a hard, you know, trying to recover from that because it goes so deep. Everything goes so deeper than what most people think. Of, like what you were
Exactly.
saying.
That's why when I argue with like old ass white men on the internet, I'm like, take a sociology class. Like, for the love of
Literally.
God,
Or read a
please.
book, for the love of God. Like,
Please.
try.
Yeah.
Sarah, whenever you talk, Sarah gets into so many arguments online. It is one of the funniest things that I think
It's
about
really beautiful.
all the time.
It's really beautiful.
That's why I had to take my last name out of my profile because I was like, people are gonna find me. They're gonna, like, it's
Oh
way
my
too
God.
much.
Awesome.
That is so
Not
funny.
even on my burner account.
Awesome.
I have
Good for you,
3.
Sarah. Good for you.
I
Yeah.
love arguing.
We're at an
I
hour
mean-
and 20 minutes, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess somebody say something
These
funny
are, like-
before we finish.
But don't. I think what my last thought is everything. Yes, there is a lot of, you know, systemic oppression, bad shit going on. I won't lie, but I am so fucking over doomerism. I am so over people going, "This is it. This is the end." No, it's not. No, it's fucking not. I get riled up thinking about this because so many other, like, arguments, battles, whatever, you know, politically and everything have been, like, won like through determination, through hope and everything. And it's hard.
Yeah.
And I get it. It's rough. But like, why? I don't know. I see so many people online, and obviously online is an evil, evil place. But like, I see so many people being like, how do you not, you know, just fall into doomerism? And I did see one post that was like, why do you think yourself with your privilege is allowed to fall into doomerism when people that don't have that shit, like, are still hopeful for a better future? And it's like, yeah. So I'm over doomerism. I'm over it.
The fact that it's
The
happening
doomerism-
here in the West, like,
yes.
there's
Doomerism
so
thing
many
is
other places where it's just like
stupid. It's also just because, like, if you look back, like, even just 10 years ago, like, we were in a very similar place.
Yes.
And we managed to get out of it. And, like, all throughout history, every 10 years, we are in the same exact place.
Swings
Like,
back
you,
and forth.
even if you're not
Yeah, I
well
would say
versed in
so.
history, you look back 10 years ago, we were in the same place, and, like, we managed to get out of it. It's a pendulum, and it's always going to go back and forth as long as, like, humankind and, like, human nature remains the same.
Exactly.
we are still going to be
I-
greedy and empathetic and evil and also good.
I
Like
will
it's
say
always going to be the same.
a lot of Trump's policies are like the most fascist that have been
Yes.
Of course.
fascist for a long time, which is very
Yes.
concerning.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So let's see how that
Fascism
plays.
has happened before, and it's
Yes.
been not
Don't want
ended,
to
put on pause.
experience that.
It has been
Yeah.
put on pause, but
I look to things like the queer rights movement of like the 70s and the 60s and everything, and 80s, and when I things like ACT UP.
Yeah.
When there wasn't even social media, and listen, like LGBT people were like even more so persecuted than they are
Yeah.
now. Like it was
Mhm.
terrible and everything, and
Yeah.
we've become more accepting, at least in my circles and everything. We've
Yeah.
become more accepting and everything, and yeah. So I look to things like that to be like, oh, they survived. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
people didn't, but like, you know what I mean. Like they fought, they survived. So
Yeah.
can
Like, the
everyone else.
yeah.
Just have
Especially our
faith in your
generation.
communities. Like,
Survive.
We just gotta get rid of the boomers. But our
Yeah.
generation, like, we care about human rights. We just need to put us in office.
Well, I don't know if I would put that generalization on our generation. I think our generation is also incredibly shitty.
yes.
I think that our generation I think our generation is one of the most politically divided generations ever. Or like as far as like we've been tracking like generations, because we haven't been doing so for very long. But like
Yes.
I wouldn't I've always been pissed off when people like even like 5 years ago were like Gen Z is gonna save the world. Like I need you to shut the fuck up right now.
It's so
Because with the way that like with like the return of fascism, the way that the internet works, with the way that like trends and social media and all that stuff, it's like it's not happening. And I not to like get all negative or something, but like we kind of suck sometimes.
yeah.
And we're
Well,
a very
yeah.
as empathetic as we as a generation are, we are also incredibly selfish.
Mhm.
Says my mother.
And I
I
believe
mean, you just need the return to, like, traditional values.
Yeah.
But I do think we are slightly more liberal, despite that, than previous generations.
Yes.
everything swings back and forth.
Like, growing up with, like, things like gay marriage being legalized, things like that, I feel like we normalize things that weren't normalized a while ago,
Yeah.
which is why we're more, you know,
We
why
take
I
it
feel
for
like
Mhm.
granted.
exactly
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like we'd be
Because
more accepting of things because of the way that
Yeah.
we grew up and the way things were
Yeah.
normalized.
because we weren't the ones who had to fight for it. Like other people did that for us. And like other
Mhm.
people did a lot of the heavy lifting for us.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now that like it's all been retracted, like I think a lot of people our age don't know how to deal with the fact that the rights that they grew up with are no longer there.
Yes. Now they're yeah. So
But I do have hope. I have hope in the young people. I have
that's
hope.
I have hope. That's the best thing you can have, and then go work with your community in the way you want to make your community better.
Yes.
And everything.
And there's several
The
resources.
Mr. Rogers of it all. Look for the helpers. Like there's still people. Where are you looking?
There's
Look
like
at me.
music
I'm down
playing
here.
outside, like La Banda.
Oh.
Like
All right, party.
it's a party, guys.
Yay.
Rock on. All right, sorry. I was like,
Hey,
it was
Mama.
like so like quick and sudden. I was like, what the hell's going on outside? Sorry about that.
Hey,
Anyway.
he's down here.
The
Yeah.
most serious
the-
episode of
Most
Brats
serious.
in the
Yeah,
back
we're
row.
getting deep in this one.
yeah.
Are we done talking?
I'm
Because I
done
have
talking to
one more
you.
point I want to bring up.
Okay,
It's
please tell
K-drama
us the
time.
point. Please tell us
Okay.
the point.
So, I just kind of want to pivot the conversation to a lot of, obviously we see themes of like, masculinity, machismo, things like that. But also gun violence. The way that this film kind of speaks about gun violence just kind of, I mean, it's not anything new, obviously, But I did find the conversation that Doughboy was saying about like how the news never covers stuff going on
Right.
in the hood, talking
Yeah.
about how, usually when people talk about how how gun violence, by the way, if you guys didn't know this, gun violence is the number one cause of death for youths, for all you gun defendants, all you gun violence deniers,
Mm-hmm.
just so you know. Um,
Mhm.
but also when we talk about how gun violence affects a lot of youths, we're always talking about like, as awful horrific they are, school shootings, mass shootings, but we never ever cover the gun violence happening to young black people in
Mhm.
the community. That's something that's never covered, especially young black males. Um, so yeah, I just kind of wanted to touch on that and just like mention that how this
Yes.
film kind of just brings that to light.
All right. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
Anyways,
Good. Good job, Sarah.
Job.
I
you.
tried.
No. You can't.
I think
On that
we're
note,
wrapping it up now.
that somber note.
It gets
What a
better.
It gets
gets
better.
better,
What a
guys.
great way to
Who is
start a
that?
Black History Month. Yeah.
Yeah, happy
I know.
Black
I didn't
History
even
Month,
realize it was Black
everyone.
History Month.
Happy Black History
Happy
Month.
Black History Month.
I love how we're
Sarah, who did you
celebrating
hold
something
up?
very negative
I'm sorry.
for Black History
Sorry.
Month when there's so many like uplifting Black films we could be.
So sorry.
You're right.
So yeah.
Anyway.
So yeah, this wraps up our episode of Brats in the Back Row. What episode is this? Is this like episode 20 or?
I don't know.
This
it's
is
way past that.
18.
Of course you'd know.
This one's 18.
18.
Of
That's
course.
my lucky number.
That
Oh my
sounded
God.
derogatory. Of course you would
Of
know.
course I know. Jesus.
Ah,
What
where's my
the
phone?
hell?
Yeah. So thank you all for tuning in. Please follow us on social media. Our Spotify is Brats in the Back Row. Follow us on TikTok at BratsPod and Instagram at Brats in the Back Row. And we recently just created a Tumblr. Yay!
If you want to
Yay.
see
So we want
Mick
people to
Lennon,
know.
if you want to see Interview with the Vampire and nothing else, we're here for you.
We're
And the
adding
Tumblr-
we're adding Itu Mama Tambien to the rotation.
That is
so
true.
keep on the lookout for that.
3 things, and that's it. Itu Mama
What is
Tam-
the username? Is it Brats in the...
Brats
It
in
just-
the back row.
This is back.
It's Brats in the back row. Easy,
Okay.
easy lemon squeezy.
Yay! Am I missing anything? Did I say everything correct?
I think
I
that's
think
That's
it.
you
all we
got
have. If you want
everything.
to email us at
If you
bratsinthebacrow@gmail.com.
want to talk about political ideologies, we're here
Yeah.
for you.
Anything.
I argue if
Better.
you have weird ones, but
Yeah. And if you don't email us with your thoughts on this, then you are right wing. And you're a racist.
whoa.
So you gotta prove
Okay.
yourself.
So we'll be on the lookout.
We'll be on the lookout because you fuckers never email us.
We're the only emails in our email are May emailing herself things for the Instagram, and then there was one email that was a link to something on Tumblr that said, "Can somebody reblog this?"
Also from me.
Also from me.
Also from me.
What? It
'Cause I
was
knew
so.
Remember
Emily
when
would-
we got
What
that
was
email
it?
from that guy who was going to get the death penalty?
That was at the
From
newspaper.
school. That thing we were like, we
Yes,
should
I
report this, and we're like,
remember
eh. We got so many weird emails. I had to
That was
I had
crazy.
explained that
Yeah,
to
death
my,
threats.
I guess my bosses today. They were like, "Have you ever experienced hate online?" I was like, "Girl, you don't even know. I've experienced hate to my face."
This podcast. So yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in, and we hope to see you next time.
Bye.
Bye bye.